Antifaschista! Say it loud and say it clear! Refugees are welcome here! Loud and say it clear! Refugees are welcome here! Say it loud and say it clear! Refugees are welcome here! Say it loud and say it clear! Refugees are welcome!
Welcome to From Local to Global YouTube channel. In this video I will introduce you one of the most important protests in Austria called offensive Gegen Rechts. At the exact moment we knew the results of the Austrian elections, it became clear that FPÖ, the right-wing party, is able to form the government by taking 30% of the all votes in the elections. In response to FPÖ's success, there has been many protests called the offensive Gegen Rechts in Austria. Those people are protesting against the FPÖ policies. These policies are considered as xenophobic, anti-migrant and anti-EU. One of the most important concepts in FPÖ agenda is the remigration. It suggests that refugees and migrants having migratory background sent be back to their own country of origin. So it means that many people have to leave the country where if FPÖ captures power. So in this video, we will meet the two individuals from the protest. They are going to explain us the goals of the protest and why they are against FPÖ policies.
Okay, I'm here at this demonstration from Offensive Gegen Rechts and the reason for this is that yesterday, 3 years ago, there was a riot attack in Hanau where 10 people were killed, 9 refugees or like people with migrant background.
Vielen Dank, dass es so laut war, das war der Wahnsinn. Heute hier etwas längere Route vielleicht zu gehen. Da jetzt, wo alle noch ein bisschen aufgeregt sind, werden wir gleich weiter.
Yeah, right. Terrorism is like people that have a right motivation or like is it called Nazi motivation? Like they are against refugees or women or people that like are not like a society should be like fall out of the system. They're against this and they go so hard that they kill these people. The FPÖ in Austria is like a right party. They are like Nazis, they call it, or like they are against refugees coming into Austria. They want to push refugees out of Austria.
Und dazwischen gibt es noch für die ganz Motivierten den Akademikerball in Wien.
What is the explanation for this? Why do they want to take the refugees out of country? How do they explain this?
Dass es dann der Freitag in Wien statt,
That
also
they
die Gegen
are bad, they cost money.
Gut, damit gehen wir gleich weiter zur ersten Rede, und zwar vom Migrantinnenbeirat.
You can go really hard, or they say that they like the loss of the Austrian society and so on. So yeah.
Okay. So what do you aim for? What do you aim with this protest? You know, what is the main purpose behind this protest? You know, it's against, as you said, it is against the far right party.
Yeah.
Also, it's a memorandum, right?
Yeah, it's a memorandum and it's like making aware about this topic, keeping it in mind, remembering it, like right terror in general. Yeah, and the demonstrations are like every 2 weeks, and we just want to make aware of the topic that we have a right movement in the society and that we have the danger of a right politics.
Thank you very much, Marius, for accepting our interview.
Yeah, thanks to you for having me. I am Marius. I'm living in Graz since almost my entire life now. I moved here when I was 5 and since then living here. I was going to school here, and now I'm studying here at University of Graz, geography.
Can you please talk about your organization making protests in Graz?
Since a few months now, we are organizing demonstrations in Graz. It was basically since the general election in Austria, and shortly before we formed an alliance in the city of Graz, which is called the Offensive Gegen Rechts. It is an alliance of different organizations, of mainly left-leaning youth organizations, but also cultural institutions and everything. And I am in there as a representative of the Socialist Youth in Styria. We are the youth organization of the Social Democratic Party of Austria.
Great. So what are the anti-Gegen rights protests about? Can you please tell the audiences what is the what all these protests are about?
Yeah, sure. We have this party in Austria which is called the FPÖ. It is quite an old party. It formed after the Second World War, and they are extremely right-ward. They are a far-right party, and since a few years they were like leading the polls, the surveys, and now they won for the first time ever the general election in Austria. And it was a huge threat for us, but also for the whole country, that the FPÖ would succeed in their forming the government and also being the prime minister. So, because that would give them a lot of power. The FPÖ has been in governments before, but only this time they would get the prime minister, and that would give them a lot of power, which was extremely dangerous, giving their plans for our democracy.
Okay, what are the goals of series of these anti-right protests? What are the purposes you want to achieve at the end of these protests?
Our main goal is basically to show resistance, to be on a regular basis on the streets, and to show the party, but also all the people in Austria, that we are loud and that we are not okay with a government led by far-right extremist politicians, and that we are also fighting for our liberal democracy.
Yes. So, what do you mean by the right-wing extremism? What do you refer to as the right-wing extremism? So, is it the same in Austria and as in Germany? Can you please describe a little bit for us?
I would say that we see this on a global level right now, also when we look at, for example, what happens in the US right now, Donald Trump, but also in Germany, the far-right, the right extremism party won the second place in the German elections, and in Austria, as already mentioned, the first place. So what we understand in far-right extremism is, first of all, racism, is hostility towards many minorities, anti-Semitism, which we also have a long history in Austria, racism against people from all other kinds of countries, except white people, obviously, and also what is a huge thing that the FPÖ and that all far-right parties, movements, they are disguising their real politics, because their political goals are basically to make things easier for rich people, for huge transnational companies, and that's the thing that they are disguising. So they are saying that they are for the people, for like ordinary people, but their policies are completely different. So what has happened in Austria when the FPÖ was in government was that all the time things got harder for poor people, for people in need, and every time that the FPÖ was in the government, it was an attack towards the social state and towards the social system.
What kind of the reaction have you received after making series of interviews in the streets of Graz?
Most reactions were good, to be honest. I didn't really expect that. So I guess people are kind of used to it, and the reactions that we got were mainly positive. People were appreciating it because people are obviously also afraid of the FPÖ, but that's also because we are only in the city. So in cities there are usually less far right-wing voters. So that's probably a bit distorted. The notion that we
It's
get.
really a good point that there's a distinction between the city center voters and voters located outskirts of cities.
Definitely. So we were also talking to lots of people in smaller cities in Styria, at the countryside, and there things were really different because people, I would say, on the countryside are more like, I mean, there's a lot of people that are voting for the FPÖ. There were villages in Austria where 50% of people voted for FPÖ. So it's incredibly catastrophic. But those people, they are not really, I wouldn't say they are not fascists or anything. Those people are just, I would say they are kind of catched by the populism that the FPÖ is offering, and also they are afraid. They are xenophobic in times. Some are also really racist, and I think that's also the reason because they are never really confronted with other kinds of people. They are just in their village and then they only see white people, and obviously they are afraid of foreigners, but in a city you don't have that. In a city you have confrontations with all kinds of people, and that is probably the main reason why in cities the FPÖ isn't so strong as on the countryside.
Have you got any negative feedbacks from the people from the outskirts of cities? Do you have any story in my mind that you can tell us?
Not a particular story, but like in all kinds of demonstrations, every time we have a demonstration, there's always there are sometimes groups of far-right activists, of neo-Nazis who are shouting at us, who are shouting stuff. So that happens, but like not really from ordinary people. So I don't have a particular thing, only that sometimes fascists are shouting something, and then we are either responding with a chant or we're just ignoring it.
Thank you very much indeed for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel because I need your support to produce more content. Thank you.